Pussies vegan style.
What's up, people? I just got back from a workout, which is why I'm looking all crazy. But I wanted to talk about something I did last night. I finally met the world-renowned, wonderful, incredible, spiritual, spunky, rough, gentle. He is a man of contradictions in the most beautiful way. John Joseph, at his book release opening, Meat is for Pussies. I bought it right here, got it signed. He'll hopefully be a CC Plant Strong speaker next year. It was an amazing event. Over 100 people came to this awesome bookstore, Powerhouse Arena, and John read some stuff from his book. He talked a lot about writing the book and what it means to him. Also, Rich Roll flew in from LA and he wrote the foreword for the book and he introduced John, which was just, he was just so grateful and said such beautiful words.
So a few weeks ago, John approached me and asked if I would get up and say a few words to kick off the evening. And of course, I accepted, because you do what John asked you to do. But I have to admit, it caused me a little bit of consternation. Because how do you describe somebody who goes by the name Blood Paul? So I reflected on it, and I guess on a surface level it's kind of easy because John is so many things. He's a survivor, he's a sort of street poet, he's a punk rock icon, he's an Ironman triathlete, he's a plant-powered badass, he's a screenwriter, and of course, he's an author. Passionate, uncompromising, funny, unequivocal, brash. These are all words that come to mind when I think about John. Think of it like this. Take a little Charles Bukowski, a little Hugh Selby Jr., throw in some Jerry Stahl, a light dusting of Gandhi, toss it all into a Martin Scorsese movie, douse it with kerosene, light a match, and start it on fire. That is John Joseph. Yeah. The real John Joseph, the guy that I know, the guy behind all the labels and the accolades, and the tough guy exterior is so much more than that. John is one of the most spiritual cats that I've ever met, because he understands at the end of the day, and the deepest part of his soul and his heart, that none of this is about him. It's about devotion to a higher purpose. John is also one of the most giving people that I've ever met. He's a guy that wakes up every morning and greets the day with one singular idea. How can I be of service? John is the guy who will always take a moment to stop and chat somebody up on the street, any stranger. And he's a guy who will literally and privately move mountains to help somebody else in need. And never, ever ask for anything in return. Tonight we are here to celebrate John Joseph, to celebrate this remarkable achievement that is Meat is for Pussies.
Now, there's a lot of controversies around this book. It's called Meat is for Pussies, a how-to guide for dudes who want to get fit, kick ass, and take names. I was talking to Rich Roll, who's been friends with him for years, and he said when they're just walking down the street of New York, maybe a 3-block walk that should take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, literally ends up being a half an hour because every single block, John will stop and talk to some random homeless dude, give him a bunch of vegan food, hang out with him, spark a conversation for minutes because he cares. He truly cares. He was handing out Bhagavad Gita excerpts at his signing table for free, just to educate people, to bring compassion and love and unity into their lives. He literally devoted himself at a Hare Krishna temple in New York City for 10 years after being a hardcore drug addict, alcoholic, punk rocker. Like, he doesn't fuck around. He didn't go on a 2-week meditation retreat to India and proclaim that he's a guru. He literally has walked the walk more than anyone I personally have ever met. So he is entitled to call his book whatever the hell he wants for the crowd that he wants to tap into, absolutely. John specifically wrote this book for the non-vegan community. He's not writing a book to preach to the choir whatsoever. He's writing this book to get to the men in the world who would never, ever, ever think they're going to try a plant-based diet and say, look, guys, shitting in a bag when you have colon cancer and not being able to walk up a flight of stairs without taking 10 breaths per step when you're 50, that's not cool. Meat is not macho. Milk is not macho. A plant-based diet allows you to do awesome shit until you're 100 years old.
If you even break open the book, the first thing I say is, if you keep living this lifestyle, sitting on your ass and eating all this fucked up food that these corporations are putting out there, corporations who are owned by the drug companies, you will become a feeble pussy dependent upon the drug companies to keep you alive. If that's what you want, put the fucking book back. It's not for you. But if you want to learn, then continue reading.
That is badass. Pussies eat meat. They get heart disease. They get cancer. You don't want to be that old, ugly, dumb person. John is 50 and he's doing marathons and Ironmans. He's crazy. He's been vegan for 30 years. So he has the right to name this book Meat is for Pussies. He comes from foster care on the streets of New York City, breaking beer bottles over people's heads, going to jail. He was in the military. He was a bad guy. And he turned his life around, went vegan, became a monk, devoted himself to Krishna. He is the most entitled person on the planet to call this book Meat is for Pussies. He's not trying to take down another movement, the LGBTQ movement or the feminist movement whatsoever. He's purely trying to hit a market that would never read the book if it was called A Guide to Juicing and a Vegan Health Vitality. Those guys aren't going to read it. He's writing it for the rough, stubborn men who think that veganism is for little hippie wimps that can't grow muscles, and he's writing that he wrote this. I mean, he curses, he says fuck in every other word in this book because that's what these guys are going to want to hear if they're going to get interested in this lifestyle. So I highly recommend you get the book. It's so awesome. I already started reading it. It's just so fun to read. A lot of the vegan health and nutrition books are filled with data with just very monotone language, and he fills in all that data about GMOs, about big pharma, about health, about the environment, everything, ethics, but he does it in a way that you feel like you're having a conversation with this average dude. And so it's really easy to digest the information rather than some of these other books. So I highly recommend you get it. It was an awesome event. John, I really hope you come, Blood Clot, and speak at CC. I'm going to bug you about it. And please go support the book and understand its uniqueness and its importance in the vegan movement.
This is Vegan Style. This is Vegan Style.